Hello, Lightkeepers. Joshua Kangley here. And as we step into a brand new year, I wanted to take a moment, not to rush ahead, but to pause, to take a moment to reflect, to look back on 2025 and talk about what we've done together and where the mission is going next. Because keeping the light on is not just a podcast, it's a mission to shine a light on the missing right here in Nebraska, a mission to give a voice to those who can no longer speak for themselves, a mission to stand with families and loved ones, and a refusal, an absolute refusal to let these names fade into silence. Because like this is not just a podcast, these are not just cases. These are real people, real sons, real daughters, brothers, friends, neighbors, members of real communities. And this past year has reminded me of that more than ever. So before I go any further, I need to say thank you. And honestly, I can't say that enough. I can't fully articulate how grateful I am. Thank you. Thank you for listening, for sharing episodes, for subscribing to this podcast. Thank you for reaching out to me with tips, kind words, encouragement, and prayers. You may not realize how much those messages matter, but they matter more than you can know. And to the families, thank you so much to the families who trusted me with their deeply personal stories. That trust is not something I take lightly, ever. And thank you to everyone I've interviewed this past year. Family members, friends, professionals, law enforcement, private investigators, and specialized searchers. Thank you all for your time. Thank you for your honesty. And thank you for trusting me to help tell these stories with care, respect, and truth. And I also want to thank those of you working behind the scenes. And you know who you are. Many of you reached out quietly. You shared insight. You shared information. You helped me think through some of the details and guide me through these cases. And I am incredibly thankful for that. And to you, my fellow light keepers, those of you who come back episode after episode, you are a part of this mission more than you realize. This podcast doesn't exist without you, and I appreciate you deeply. Because of you, this podcast has reached more and more people and has grown beyond my expectations. I'd like to take a moment now to share a few of the listener reviews that were submitted. D. Rubalcava said, "Thanks for shedding light on these cases. The level of research, follow-up, and passion is clear. Awesome job, Josh." Thank you, D. Rubalcava. And this one from Wombology Expert said, "Thank you for bringing light to this case. I appreciate that you have spoken with the family and local community members, like the grief counselor. Other podcasts should use this one as a reference. Thank you, Wombology Expert. And thank you for all who have left comments and reviews. And if you haven't yet, I'd like to ask, please consider leaving a 5-star review. It truly helps this podcast reach more and more listeners, which helps keep the light on. And if you do leave a review, please leave a comment on your feedback as well. I read them all, and your feedback means so much to me. And if you do, I will read yours in future episodes. This past year, we shared some incredible, important stories. In Season 1, we covered the case of Tyler Goodrich, and in Season 2, we covered Chance Englebert, with the final episode of Season 2 coming soon after the holidays. And I also introduced Cold Case Nebraska, beginning with the case of Christi Jo Nichols. What makes this year remarkable, and something I never take lightly, is that during the recording of both Season 1 and 2, both Tyler Goodrich and Chance Englebert were found. That matters to me. Christi Jo Nichols, however, still remains missing. And even though her case is older, I truly believe it can be solved. I believe someone knows something, and I believe silence is the only thing standing in the way. Christi deserves someone to speak up for her, and I pray someone finally does. If you haven't listened to that episode, I'll leave links in the show notes. Please share that one as she remains missing. Keeping the light on This mission, you, the Lightkeepers, are proof of what can happen when people come together with a shared purpose. I never expected to be doing this, but I am incredibly grateful and honored that I am. And if you've been listening since day one, you may remember me saying that I felt called to do this. Something pulled me to do this. So I stepped completely out of my comfort zone and decided to say yes. Since starting this podcast, I've made some career changes and my time looks different now. What I can give looks a little different. But what hasn't changed is my commitment. And as long as I have time, as long as I have a voice, I will continue to be right here, keeping the light on. And I ask you to continue this mission with me, because together we can do this work. Together we can expand this mission. And together we can ensure every voice is heard and no name forgotten. As we wrap up season 2 with Chance Englebert and reflect on 2025, there are a few things this journey has taught me. First, you need to have an open mind, but not so open that you lose yourself in it. You can't have tunnel vision either. When I go into these cases, I do so without bias, without speculation, with only one goal: to tell the story of the missing person and to shine a light on them. That is my intent, always, and will forever be. To shine a light, to keep their name out there, to keep the conversation going. One thing I've learned very quickly about missing persons cases is that there often are camps, sides with strong opinions. And I understand that. I mean, we all want answers. We all want to make sense of what happened, and we all want to help. And in these cases, emotions can run high, and we have to be careful of that because, again, these are real people, real families, and real communities. Speculation doesn't help. Questions matter. Yes, truth matters always, but division doesn't serve the missing. And I'm here for the missing person. I want them found. And what I'd like you to remember, for everyone to keep in mind, is that the best way forward, the best thing that we can do, is to work together, not against one another. Discussion, not division. I've also learned never give up hope. The support shown to the families matters more than we can ever fully understand, and that gives them hope. Something unexpected I learned this year was just how much goodness still exists in humanity. These are heavy stories, hard stories, tragic stories, but I've seen people from all over come together to search, to support, to help in any way they can. And it has strengthened my belief in people and strengthened my faith, because even in the darkest moments, the light still shows up. Looking ahead to 2026 and beyond, the mission continues. I'm currently working on another Nebraska case. This one is an older case, but I also believed it can be solved, and I intend to shine a bright light on it. My goal for 2026 is to release 2 more seasons of Keeping the Light On, along with additional Cold Case Nebraska episodes. So you can expect more of that going forward. Long term, I have some big goals, but right now I'm taking this one step at a time. Continuing conversations with families, with law enforcement, with private investigators, with searchers and specialized teams like canine units, dive teams, and metal detector specialists, and other professionals that deal with grief counseling and missing persons. I'm not interested at all in rushing episodes, pumping out episode after episode. These stories deserve time, and they deserve the best that I can give: care and respect. The missing and the families left behind, they deserve that. So as we wrap up 2025 and this year-end reflection, I just want to say thank you. This has been an incredible journey, and you have made it possible. If you haven't yet, please subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Please consider leaving a 5-star review and a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Keeping the Light On in 2025, what you've learned, what stood out to you, and what you would like to see going forward. And if you do leave a review with a comment, I'll read that on a future episode. Stay tuned for the final episode of Chance Englebert, Season 2, and for Season 3 coming soon. I wish you all an amazing and blessed 2026. Thank you for standing with me. Thank you for standing with these families. And thank you for helping me keep the light on.